Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the Daily Scan for Wednesday, June 10th, 2015. Yesterday's scheduled news was the job opening, and let's see here. It's job opening, JOLTS, job opening, and something. I think they say something about what it is here. Anyway, the number they were looking for was 5.038 million openings, and they actually ended up with 5.376 million openings. Yeah, and I don't really know what that means. Are they not able to fill positions? Here it is, Labor Department's job openings and labor turnover survey. Okay, that's what it is. So I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. It's a thing. I suppose the thing would be, is it out of line, and how much out of line is it? And then just let the talking heads put a spin on it. Either way, however they're feeling. For today, we have the EIA Petroleum Status Report at 10:30, and then the Treasury budget. We'll take a look to see how we ended up for May. We had a big surplus in April. I don't know if this is pink or salmon colored or whatever you might want to call this, but anyway, ended up pretty good. Usually does. Just means the government collected a lot of taxes that people owed in April. So we'll see how May turns out. Usually a deficit, or at least it has been the last 3 years. Time will tell. And let's take a look at the futures and see what's going on across the ponds. Not really the futures. It's the end of the day in Asia. We're pretty close to it anyway. It's what is this? Bullish, bearish. I mean, there's a couple that were pretty bullish, a couple that were pretty bearish. Well, one that was pretty bearish anyway. So I don't know. I can't really determine anything from that. Believe it or not, we usually follow Europe. So if Europe's up a little bit, we'll probably be up a little bit too, at least at the beginning. And then we'll see what happens during the day. And whether it ends up being a bullish or a bearish day. I was going to say a good day or a bad day, but it all kinds of depends on where your positions are. And I'm just looking for a day. Mostly flat to maybe slightly bearish, but I can handle it either way. Okay, looking at the account, insurance policies here. Opened Chipotle yesterday. When we get to that on the scan, we can talk about that a little bit. And the two SPY bear insurance policies are looking pretty good right now. So that's what encouraged me to do the Chipotle one. And are, for the most part, delta neutral plays here. There's not a whole heck of a lot of delta in either direction here. But there's good data. Very good data. Data, of course, is, in theory, mathematically, if prices stayed the same, we would make $59.32. Hardly ever turns out that way, though. Hardly ever. Okay, so why is this subtotal? Oh, I suppose this is $90. Okay. SPXPM still is not paying off. And I don't know what's going on with that one. The rest of these, though, so we should have $10 in data. Come on, let's start getting this money here. This they expire next week. So they're all just regular June expiration. And then we have these hangers on down here. We'll talk about those sometime in the future. This is still that leftover long recall from when I closed out the short for a nickel. Remember that. Okay, so the futures here are looking up right now. The VIX from yesterday was 1447. It made kind of a big move yesterday, and then it backed off a little bit. Like the market moved down pretty heavily in the morning, and then it recovered later on during the day. Gold is at 1184, up a whopping $7 overnight. Well, look at oil. It's above 60. It's actually 61 and a half almost. Wow. Dollar's at 95, and the euro against the euro. So actually, the dollar's looking pretty steady over the last week or two. Kind of hovering around that 95, moving a little bit, wiggling both directions there. All right, let's take a look at the big chart. There it is right there, and we're on the weekly right now. So also yesterday I wanted to point this out, bring this up here. I closed this one out. I got a little bit worried about this bull put here at 1965. I was a little bit concerned about that, so I closed it out. Took a $90 hit on that. So that's okay. We can handle that. And then to counter that a little bit anyway, I opened the same expiration date at 1945. So I actually dropped it down 50 points on that, collected 30 cents. So I have the note over here that I rolled this. So I still have an iron condor on the July 1 expiration. And here's the Chipotle butterfly right here. And we'll peek at that chart when we get to it. So that costs $308 just to do one of them. And I'm betting it's going to end up, or at least pass through, this range, and that's when we'll cash out on it. All right, so we were looking at the big chart, weren't we? All right, so we had a little bit of a, started out kind of ugly yesterday. Go to the daily here, and it dipped down, and then it came back up, and we ended up with pretty much looks like a doji. So maybe we'll swing back up here. Who knows? Back to the weekly. Here is 1945. It's actually not even on here. Here it is, right down here. This is the July 1. So I moved this one down to here. This one's red because lost money on it. All these green ones were money makers and are closed. The rest of them, I just colored them to be pairs. So this July 1 matches up with this July 1 up here. It's a little cluttered, but it's really there. And this June 4 matches up with this June 4, which, right here, June 4, which I already cashed out on that one. So this is now just a standalone bull put. I closed out its partner. I had been thinking about closing these out and then going back in at a lower price. So I may be doing that in the future, keeping the iron condor intact by basically rolling this down. Like if I would have rolled this June 4th down, it probably would have ended up about here. And we could have just milked it for a little bit more money. So I may be doing that in the future. Okay, let's start out. I think that's all I wanted to say about that. Let's go to our scan and start out with Apple. There we go. All right, Apple had a good day yesterday. That's really like all I can say. It also, I don't know, would you want to do Iron Condor on an Apple? I don't know. Not sure I would want to. Here is Amazon, Iron Condor here. If we would not have panicked, we would still be in it. I might have panicked, but it all kind of depends. You know, there's huge risk on these. And you have to be kind of careful because, well, for instance, there's the risk on this is $167 to make 83. Well, I guess that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. And it's actually at 42, so you're almost at 50% profit here on this particular one. So, you want to get out of it. We'll see how things go today. If we move a little bit further and IV drops a little bit more, the white line will push up a little bit higher, and you may be able to pull $60 out of this thing today. So I guess in retrospect, actually, it worked out pretty well. Okay, BIDU. BIDU's not going anywhere. It was had a setup on it yesterday. It's still on a setup today. So I will make a note of that and throw that on information for the video. Okay, here's Chipotle. We did the butterfly, so all we're doing is just looking for this price to move down into here, and it may just do it on its way. Let's take a look at it on the big chart. I don't have any drawings on here, but so I suppose it wouldn't do us a lot of good to view it here on the big chart. Alright, never mind. It's a weekly too. Let's look at it daily. Yeah, all I'm doing is just looking for it to move through a range here. And here's the range, so between now and whenever this thing expires, I just want it to be in this general range here, and we can make a decent chunk of money on it. And here it is right here. In reality, let's reset our add these set to break even. So on the chart over here, these are the break evens, and I'm just looking for it to be in between there, and it can make a pretty decent chunk of money. So I'm not looking for it to be right here at expiration. Get rid of this. I'm just looking for it to wiggle around in here or pass through here or do something in the next week or so. And then we can all be kind of happy campers. And the only thing is what would you be happy with? Well, I think I'd be pretty happy with a couple $100 off of this thing. Since I threw 300 into it, I sure would like to make my 300 back and have it 100% profitable. And if you're following the red number down here, it only has to come up to here, and we can make some decent money. So even right now, if it moves down here, we're still looking at 53, 54 bucks there. So I'd be happy with that. All right, back to the charts. I think we need to possibly do that. Let's go to Costco. And actually, let's go back here, and I'm going to change a setting here and show you this. I'm just going to go here and say on the price axis, well, it's already at 20% down. All right, that's kind of a big move. You would think it would show up better there. Here, I guess in theory, is a 20% move. Okay, onward. Costco. Why? Okay, Costco, we were looking for an entry here. We don't have it. And let's take a look at the Dow. Yes, the Dow had a nice doji yesterday too. That usually is an indication of a reversal of a trend, but not always. Gold. Gold is kind of trying to drift or creep up here for us, which is a good thing. Google, we were talking about a butterfly there. Yeah, let's be at $143 right now. We'll have to see what happens here with Google. LinkedIn, nice little move up here, a little pop, and it's maintaining it. It's not really doing anything. NDX violated the channel just a tad here with the wick, but actual the body of the candle still within the trend, the upward sloping channel. Netflix still honking. Now Netflix, I wouldn't do a butterfly if I thought it was going to move up someplace here. I would do a calendar, because a calendar really benefits better from a decrease in IV, whereas a butterfly generally benefits from an increase. So I do the butterflies on the put side and the calendars on the call side. But I wouldn't do a calendar. I'm not betting on anybody moving up right now. Priceline, what do we have on Priceline? We had a butterfly here as well, and that is paying off very handsomely. Would have paid $330 for it, and just about ready to get out of it. So liking these butterflies a lot for stocks that are in a downtrend, such as this. So here's my target right here. That's where the shorts are, but it's actually within the break-evens right now, so that's looking good. Take a look at RUT. RUT's still not doing anything. This is amazing. Actually kind of disturbing, to tell you the truth, because that's just not normal for RUT to be doing that. We already looked at SPX. I really want to go to Tesla. And here it comes. Drum roll. This thing stalled again. There we go. Okay, again, Tesla breaking out a little bit here and drifting upward. Don't know where that one is headed. So, the simulated butterflies are doing pretty well. The actual butterfly that I have now in Chipotle, it's going to take, I don't know, a day or two to figure out if we did the right thing on that or not. And the rest, everything else, looking pretty good. Still waiting for SPXPM to pay off. What is the matter with you? It's going right here, SPXPM. Yeah, I think that here was the problem. You know, if we're moving down a little bit, which we have been on the charts, you know, we take a look at it here. We've been moving down, so it's been difficult. IV has been increasing, so that's why this white line is being pushed down. And now if we move up a little bit today, or have a decent day, maybe, you know, like, you know, pull 8 or 10 out of the S&P 500 today, that would be good. And then we would pop up here pretty nicely, I think. All right, so that's it for today. Only prospect for today is BIDU, and that is we're looking at a bullish kind of a deal there. Or at least some sort of neutral play anyway. It is kind of drifting up, but you have to be very careful. Maybe a calendar. Yeah, I'm not really hung up on just credit spreads right now, just because, well, if you look here, there's no IV. Implied volatility is very low. The VIX is pretty low. at 14.47. Not real low, but you'd like it above 20, it'd be nice, but it's not there, so you end up with your short strikes pretty close. So if you want to just shave some stuff off here, a calendar may be in BIDU's future. So you can take a look at that with the Analyze tab and figure out what you might want to do. I wouldn't push out the long expiration at all. I would just take the next week and just grab the money out of it, whatever you can, and do it that way. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and happy trading.